Let's go.
On the reels, the legendary Mobo Joe, and you watching Nolazine TV live.
Tell everybody where you from.
Harvey, Louisiana. My neighborhood is known as Manhattan, better known as the Woods.
Okay. So, tell us, what year did you first come up? Actually with the name of your record label and how it all got started and everything like that.
All right. The name of my record label is Mobo Joe Records. That's what I started under. My first group was Lower Level Organization, which was me and my homeboy Notorious A, and Ice Mike produced my first MC. How I came about it, I was a big fan of hip hop from the time hip hop came on the scene. Around this time, I just wanted to get into the music. I had, money and stuff to do it, and I was talking to one of my homeboys that he passed away now, and I was like, man, I want to, get in the music game, in the rap game. And he told me Ace Nitty rap, which all us grew up together in Manhattan. So I said, he good? He was like, yeah, well, he good, but he talking about killing the police and all kind of stuff. I said, let's go back there and holler at him. Went back there, I talked to him. When I talked to Ace, I was like, man, what we got to do? He told me about Ice Mike. He said, Ice Mike, do beats. He had talked to him, but he didn't really have the money to do it. So we started meeting the next day, and got with Ice Mike, and we started working on an EP,
Okay, so growing up for yourself, who influenced you to actually start a record label? Because if I always interview music artists, but I don't really interview the people who put their money behind the artists.
Well, who influenced me to want to do that? Eazy-E. Rest in peace to Eazy-E. I was a real, fan of Eazy-E. You know what I'm saying? I liked what he was doing and everything, and that's why I really got the idea, when I wanted to do it.
Okay, and so being one on the independent, rap, on that record label in the early '90s, I want you to tell us, how that was for you.
In the early '90s?
Yeah.
Oh, it was good because I started traveling across state lines in the '80s. You know what I'm saying? Me and my homeboy, we used to chase the Saints a lot. I started going to the Saints game. My first Saints game, I went to out of town with Atlanta, and I fell in love, with traveling like that, just running behind the Saints and stuff like that. So I knew how to travel the world. You know what I'm saying? I seen how other people live and do stuff, and I used to go to Houston a lot. So I seen a lot of stuff that Rap a Lot was doing and stuff. So stuff like that gave me the idea to really want to do it also. But I was seeing in my city at this time, a lot of people just was doing the bounce records. You know what I'm saying? But by me traveling across state lines like that, I seen, the real rap scenes and how stuff was going. So that was most of my focus, to give New Orleans that same platform that other cities had.
Okay. So, in the '90s, while you coming up, Brandon, with your record label, can you name, other record labels that was going, that was more like competition time, and was moving around with you?
Well, it wasn't never a competition thing, okay. But when I went to the studio, Sugar Slim and Baby was there. They was recorded. Cash Money Records was recorded. They was working on their first project called Kilo G. You know what I'm saying? Which we always cool and stuff, because at the same time, it's never a competition. We always brothers of the same struggle. You know what I'm saying? And coming from the streets, so everybody trying to get to the legal money. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, it was Mobo Joe Records and Cash Money. That was 91, 92. Now you had other labels before I came on the scene. You know what I'm saying? They put out people like MC Dick, Buzz Down, Tim Smooth, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? My partner Courtney from back there in Harvard. You know what I'm saying? He was doing that. They had 3-9 Posse. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of other artists that was right before us that came out. But me and Cash Money was really street dudes that's doing this. Them other labels that was really wasn't like on the real street dudes doing it. Like Money, he from the street, but he didn't get into it like us. We was just dumping artists. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Big Boy and so on and so on.
So like, you know, being one like independent label back in the day, you know, they had like artists, you know, maneuvering, trying to sound with, you know, it was like different labels. Like, and so how many artists did you have your hands on at like early night?
Well, really, yeah, when I started, it was just me and Ace Nitty. You know what I'm saying? And then my friend Kenny Ray, who I used to hang with, he knew this female, and Brandon Lil Badness was our cousin. So when he heard what I was doing, because Brandon at this time, Lil Badness was doing some stuff with Trey 8 and them too. So when he heard what we was doing, we was making so much of noise, he reached out to Kenny Ray. So I'm saying, so he hooked me up with him, and I bought him to the thing. At this time, I had got all my own equipment. You know what I'm saying? I had went to it wasn't, what the name of that, sound check. That was, you used to go to buy your equipment. So I went to sound check. I bought like 10 grand worth of equipment. You know what I'm saying? And I had bought the equipment by the house. So then Ace was like, he knew somebody who made beats through somebody else, which was that. So I bought that over there, and I hooked them up, and we started doing that raw gangster stuff. You know what I'm saying? They was looking at my lifestyle. I'm getting them concepts of what I wanted them to do.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, I want you to take me back a little bit. Like, being one, like, independent, like, you know, CEO rap label, like, if, like, I want to know, I'm like, actually, what did you enjoy most about it? And actually, I'm like, what did you actually, hated about it?
I ain't gonna say I really hated a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I just hate the fact that people speaks on stuff and on people's name and don't really know. You know what I'm saying? And they call themselves street dudes, they call themselves, you know, men and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? People say like I stole money from Ruthless Juveniles, I stole money from Doghouse, you know, stuff like that. I hate that stuff because at the time when I started these labels, these groups, Ruthless Juvenile was in a studio about a whole year. You know what I'm saying? I was paying bills for other people, for mamas and sisters and cousins, you know, in this whole scene at this time before the music came out. You know what I'm saying? So that part there, I hate. You know what I'm saying? But the good thing, like all the members of Ruthless Juvenile, Doghouse Posse, all of them to the day still respect me. You know what I'm saying? They look up to me as a big brother. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you the real deal. But you got these gay people outside the camp that want to, you know, put the input. The part I liked about it was doing the shows and traveling, because the love that we got, I seen the impact that we was doing. You know what I'm saying? So that was my part. I loved that.
And so like, okay. And so, you know, putting out, like, you know, like tape records back in the day versus now, like, you know, if I want you to break down how it was putting out music back in the early 80s, 90s versus now.
Back then, I liked it back then better because you can control what you do. Now, with this, you know, the system they got now, you got to go to put your music on a platform and then water down the money is so bad. You know what I'm saying? So back then, like, I liked it because you can just go hand-to-hand combat. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a drug game. You know what I'm saying? You can just go bam, bam, bam. But now you got to go to this platform, and the Atom Riddles and all that, they can direct your music how they want them. They can knock it down, do this, do that, there. You know what I'm saying? What I did like about the social media when it did came out, it did give you platforms that you don't have to go to the majors. You know what I'm saying? But I just wish it gets to the point to where we can get our own, you know, Spotify's and stuff, put our own music on and don't have to go through them, so you can get more money coming in. Because the money is watered down.
Okay. So, like, how did you come up actually with your name? I'm like Mobo Joe.
All right, Mobo Joe, a friend of mine went to school with, his name was Stephen Matthews, right? So, as a kid growing up, for Christmas, we only just can get like one toy, right? So young, I used to get like Tonka trucks and stuff like that. when I got to where I can ride a bike, I wanted to ride a bike because I'm a very hype, active dude. You know what I'm saying? So I used to hang out with all the older cats. You know what I'm saying? I'll follow them on my bike. They might go from Harvard to Marrero on bikes, and I'll be with them. So just so happened, they was looking for me one day. So they seen somebody like, man, Mo was in Marrero. Then he asked somebody else later on. They said, man, Mo went with Dirt to the Iberville because we used to catch the ferry and go across the river on Canal Street riding the bikes and stuff. So the next morning when we was going to school, he said, man, we're going to make nicknames. I said, okay. He said, I got your nickname. And I said, okay, what my nickname? And he said, Mobo Joe. I said, okay, what that mean? Well, at that time, like everybody say Woody. You know what I'm saying? Back then, everybody say Bo. What's up, Bo? What's happening, Bo? You know what I'm saying? That's what they just say. So he took and rhymed the Mo with Bo, and then my middle name is Joe. That's what everybody knew me by, right? And I asked him what it stand for. He said it stand for On The Go. Because at this time, Bell South Mobility was the big phone company, right? And their slogan was Bell South, the company on the go. You know what I'm saying? You got to get with them. So that's how he connected the Mobo Joe. It basically stands for on the go, on the real, and wherever the money, I will go. Mobo Joe.
Gotcha. So now I'm about to get into the, if the good question, the good gritty question, like being from the West Bank, how did you make New Orleans respect you, like, the East Side?
I guess the way we was rapping, you know what I'm saying? I knew a lot of people from the East Bank already, but I think when the Most Wanted did the West Bank thing, right? It was a Tim Smooth and a bust down issue that happened at a club that I never went into to the day, right? But at the end of the song, they say every nigga from that side, the river can get it. You know what I'm saying? Which they always had tried to make it, even when we was traveling, across there to go to the clubs, Superdome dances and all that. They always try to make it like an East Bank, West Bank thing, right? So when I heard that, you know what I'm saying? I'm street, I'm living this. So I told Lil Badness, like, man, rap something and let's entertain that. You know what I'm saying? So we did that, but because we were so hard and so real and knew so many people, and that side, the river, most of them was doing bounce music. See what I'm saying? And another thing made us get, the projects was on it real hard. And then I had a big presence in the penitentiary system because I had a lot of people in and out of jail because I was really in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Moving, you know what I'm saying? On the rail.
Right. So, like, we've been seeing, like Ruthless Juveniles, a few of your artists.
Doghouse Posse.
Doghouse Posse. Like if these big artists from I'm like around the world, if these other like media platforms actually are like recognizing you now, way in 2023. So like, how does that feel for to be, to like recognized? If like from a guy way in Detroit, like if like Royce, I'm 5'9".
Man, that feel great. That feel real great. When, people like that reach back and recognize the real, the feeling, I can't really explain it. You know what I'm saying? And I thank all of them for it. All of them.
And so how many times have you actually been to Detroit?
I never been to Detroit.
That's crazy.
I never been to Detroit. My music, I'm going to tell you, my music bleeded a lot of places. You know what I'm saying? I went to Atlanta a lot. Atlanta and Houston was like my backyard before music. You know what I'm saying? Because of my street life. You know what I'm saying? And, I love the females. You know what I'm saying? Till the day, I still love females.
I guess what? Why are you speaking on that? Why you keep saying Atlanta? How was Freakneck back in the day?
Oh, hey, nothing like now. I was at the real Freaknecks. I'm talking about, you can see somebody getting in between the calls right now.
I want you to paint the picture for like these young kids.
I was in a Freakneck in the 80s, man. I'm talking about, man, people, man, I'm talking about you actually can be just walking and you can see mothers doing their thing like right there. You know what I'm saying? So I loved it. I was in Atlanta the year they tore Fulton County Stadium down, everything. I remember the Atlanta murder rate was like, man, it was like, I don't think it was 100 the first year I went out there. You know what I'm saying? It changed a lot,
So this was always my thing about Freaknik. Like, how many people might not be able them children daddy for Freaknik? Cause like people were sticking and moving. Like you probably know the person's name, so it's like you probably got kids around the world.
You know, sometimes in the back of my mind, I'd be like, boy, I wish that day never come up. You know what I'm saying? And Mom be like, yeah, you know, you got a kid in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I think like that. You know what I'm saying? Because man, I'm talking about, man.
It was fun, huh?
Huh? Oh man, I did my thing, man. I used to go to Sherry Showcase in Atlanta, the Nightlight. I went to Magic City in the '80s, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Magic City been over that long?
Yeah, Magic City been there. It blew up, but it been there. I went there like the late '80s, bro. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to Jam City and Houston, Jamaica. You know, I used to go to Dallas. I used to be everywhere, bro.
So like traveling, you know, maneuvering all these states, having a record label. Yeah, like how your relationship was as far as in Houston with like J Prince?
I never met J.
Okay.
I never met J.
Because you know you was making noise, so usually people kind of.
Yeah, like I used to deal a lot with the mom and pop record stores, like in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. You know, throughout the.
Okay.
You know, the little region. I deal with a lot of the moms and pop, but I never met Lil J. I was in a club one day when he was in there. But Lil J moved like Lil Boosie. He moved with a crowd.
Yeah.
He moved with a crowd.
Boosie moved 100 deep.
He moved with a crowd. He moved with a crowd. I remember we was in the club, and I was like, man, who that dude is? And my cousin, he from Fifth Ward. He went to school with Lil J. And he was like, man, that's Lil James, you know. And I was like, Lil James. And he went to tell him, man. You know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's what I learned about Juneteenth in the 80s and all that, because I was out there one year, and they had all this stuff. I'm like, man, what is June? I ain't much new. You know what I'm saying? And we used to go to Galveston Beach every 4th of July, like me and my little clique. That was our vacation. And man, it used to be live like Freaknik. Like, it used to be live.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, if I'm going to bring you back, I'll make a little bit about, you know, maybe 90s, maybe 2000, I don't know. But, and like, what's your relationship was actually with Soulja Slim?
Man, woo! That's the real one right there. Soulja, I never met Soulja until I came home. When I came home, I was working at Peaches Records, right? And Soulja, real one, you know what I'm saying? Be honest with you, that man was the first one ever pay homage to me that I can remember was Soulja Slim, like from the era, right? So I was at Peaches and I was working. And on the real, it was him and Crazy, 504 Crazy, that came in the store, right?
Yeah, that's crazy, like just hearing them two being together after this record.
Yeah, and like Crazy, I met Crazy through my homeboy Sam on the Full Wall, because he had Crazy them first. So Crazy was like a youngster when I first met. I didn't know who Crazy was, but when they walk in the store, I'm in Peaches on real, I'm joked out. So when they walked in, I said, why? And they hollered, and I was like, I ain't nobody. And when I said that, like Slim, he just clicked out and looked at me, and he walked over there. He said, who? Mobo Joe? He said, man, we come up to lower level organization, Doghouse Posse, Ruthless Juvenile. That's what he was saying, you know? And he was like, yeah, because him and folks Shaw from Ruthless Juvenile was in Angola together, but they never made it to the walk. So he was like, look, man, I was up there with Ruthless. I hear that boy about to get out here. You know what I'm saying? Plug it up. Let's do something. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So then, 504 Crazy came. He was like, man, you remember me? I used to rap for Sam with Sleepy from the Nightwall. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right. So we chopped it up. So at this time, all of us, like C-Murder, Slim, used to hand the Platinum Club right down Manhattan. We used to always be in there. Like every night. As a matter of fact, I was in there the night when the shit went down. You know what I'm saying? And I seen Slim at the club, because niggas be going to the bathroom and they be rapping and stuff. So this is what I respect about Slim, and that's how I know he was real. And he really respected what I did. So I said, Slim, I said, what you gonna hit me for that verse? Slim looked at me, and he hit the chain that we doing all. He like, Mobo Joe, you a real nigga, I'm a real nigga. Book the studio, Slim gonna be there, right? So I'm like, all right. He said, Mobo Joe, we ain't gonna drop one, we gonna drop some shit for the city. And that's something I regret to the day, because I had a window, but I'm just coming home. I'm trying to get my balance, get my life straight, you know what I'm saying? And he stayed right by Peaches. So every day he'll come up that little side street. And I used to always stand in the door when I ain't doing nothing because I'm looking at the females, you know what I'm saying, passing. And he'll pull up in that Cali and he'll be looking for me. And he's like, man, you ready to go right now? Why? You want to go? You want to go? And I'm like, Slim, I got you, but never thinking, you know, he's going to lose his life like that. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to Soulja Slim. Much love, my brother, on the real. And little Soulja taking care of his business out here, brother. You heard me? Yeah. Yes, sir.
So let's bring this back. Like, when you came home from jail, how did you end up getting a job at Peaches Records?
Man, Sharani is like family, bro. Peaches, the whole family is like my family. You know what I'm saying? So what happened, my girlfriend at the time, she did nails right down the street. So I used to get off from, I was working on a construction job for my partner, daddy, who used to work with the KT, Kenneth Taylor. I used to work with his daddy, you know, remodel houses, right? So after I get off from Nelski from going to the West Bank, you know, Peaches is like a hangout spot. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go hang out by Peaches, waiting on her to get off, still coming to the West Bank and got to go back over there. So Miss Sharani was like, Mobo, you stay up in here all the time. Why don't you come to work for me? So it made sense for me to just start working. You know what I'm saying? Plus I'm getting to meet people getting back in the field. I see Manny Fresh there when I came on too. Shout out to Manny Fresh too. You know what I'm saying? Real one, you know?
Gotcha. So let's bring it all the way back. Like, what year did you meet Tim Smooth and how fast did you realize dude was like one of the most talented rappers on the in New Orleans?
I met Tim Smooth. I dropped in '91. Had to be early '90s. I didn't meet him, but my first time encounter with him outside just hearing his music was at Jam City in Houston, Texas, right? And this club probably got about 3,000-4,000 people in it. My partner, Rock, was with us out there. Rock used to hang in the Heights a lot, so he knew Tim. So at this here time, Tim was on stage performing. So we kind of in the front, you know what I'm saying? And this I know Tim was the coldest. Because he rapping, right? And he see Rock and the thing. So, and he ain't never stopped. Well, he stopped, he paused his rap. The music started running. And he said, boy, Lamar, what you doing way out here? In this show. And just jumped back on the beat and kept rapping. I said, this nigga the coldest. Bro. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, back then, Tim, Bust Down, Hitman, Lil L, 39 Posse, 4-Pack, man, they was tearing up in Houston, bro. So them boys did their thing.
It's kind of funny because
they did their thing.
Because I just interviewed with Lil L, and it was crazy because he was like, man, I remember back in the day, Lil Wayne used to open up for me, and when he went to Louisiana Fest, opening up for Lil Wayne, he said, man, it's crazy. Like, he said, but it's dope that he could still be heard.
Look, I told him at the video shoot he did, I said, last time I seen you, it was at Jam City. He said, Mo, you went way back. Man, I watched Lil Elk do that one song for an hour in that club and tear it up. Hitman used to do Bounce Baby Bounce for a whole hour and just tear it down, bro. Tear it down.
Okay, so I want you to bring it back in the day, like, you know, you had artists, you trying to, get them known throughout the city. Like, I heard you have, like, small bars like Club James, people trying to get in to promote the artists. So, like, I want you to break it down, like, how the club life was in the early 90s, trying to get your artists out.
Or I ain't gonna say as bad as it is right now, because a lot of rappers are dying and stuff. But like Club James, it was gangster. It was gangster. It was real gangster. You know what I'm saying?
You know, if I hear stories like
yeah, it was real gangster.
But they say Club James was like a small club.
It was
but
small.
Everybody from the whole New Orleans.
Yeah, it was Club James, Detours, Ghost Town. You know what I'm saying? You had some small clubs. You had Beaters down there in Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying?
I just realized Ghost Town was a bar.
It's a bar.
I thought it was a town.
That's all James is. All the places I just named, them balls, them not clubs, them balls, them neighborhood ballrooms like when you just left from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all it was. Yeah, like Ivanhoe. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We used to do shows there. That's how we used to get our records out and stuff like that.
I think people might need to start going back that route.
Yeah. We used to go to Lafayette and do it. You know, Abbeville, I got some stuff at Abbeville, was some shootout and all around there, and a bar and stuff. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna give you your flowers while you here.
I appreciate it, young man. I appreciate it on the real.
You went from jail system to coming home to, you know.
Yeah, 23 years,
business.
baby. One time, that was enough for me. Didn't go back.
Oh, so how long you did?
No, I was
thought
home.
You went to jail with 23 years.
No, I've been home 23 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've been home 22. Like I said, I went my first time. I was like, nah, this ain't the lie. I was in there with Hot Beezel. I was in there with Gangster, my partner Woody, Julio, Terry England came through, man. A bunch of us in there. You know what I'm saying? It was like 98, 99. You know what I'm saying? It was in St. Bernard and stuff like that.
Like, just speaking on, you know, Gangster, like how do you feel about, like, just how the streets, like, interpret everything what's going on now? Because, you know, it's like a new norm for everybody to speak on, like, street business.
See, that's the thing. This new norm shit, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody tell me they got an opinion, right? To me, the old folks say opinion is like an asshole. We all got them, right? That's true, right? Mm-hmm. But what come out your asshole?
Shit.
Okay, so all y'all's opinions is a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's Cash Money hot boy business. I don't speak on other people's business. You know what I'm saying? Because I was raised different. See what I'm saying? At our house, what happened in our house stayed in our house. That's what my mom and my daddy told me. What happened at our neighbor's house, if we bought something to our house, at our neighbor, that's an ass whooping. I don't get that people business. What them people got, that's on them. Because you got people in your own clique that doing shady shit to you. But you want these dudes want to stay relevant now. Everybody want to get in front of the count. I'm a big dog. I can speak on anybody's name. And that's why so much killing and mess is going on, because nobody have no respect. Everybody just want, you know, be so relevant. You know what I'm saying? So that's them dudes' business. You know what I'm saying? Well, it don't apply to me.
Well, we're going to speak on the positive, like, you know, because you just gave him one, I'm like, shout out. I'm like, you know, meeting him in jail, like, I would, if I was Gangster.
Man, Gangster was cool, bro. Like, he was real, like, you know, when you go to jail, when you go to jail and you go on a tip, like, everybody gonna kind of, not everybody, but people kind of greet you, you know what I'm saying, give you zuzus or whatever, front you something, give you some stuff till your stuff come. Well, they did it to me. Everybody come through. When Gangster came, by him having a name, people like that froze up. You see what I'm saying? So when I seen him, you know, I was like, man, what's up? I introduced myself as Mobo Joe. And he was like, man, I need to holler at you. And then he gave me some help for some stuff that people was trying to plot that I didn't much know about. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we kind of bonded from there. And then it just led from, you know, just being sellers and now growing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so y'all was good.
Yeah, we was good. But I say on that situation, if I was that person they say he told on, if I was in the grave and I could come out of the grave and say, go home, I'll say, man, go on to your family, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I was going to speak on it. And they say, like, look, how you feel like, you know, me, I wouldn't care if somebody
man, go home.
Me I'm dead.
You know what I'm saying? Me and you go do something right now, and I'm gone, man, go home to your family. Because the thing here is a whole trick. We fighting the system. The system is bigger than us. You know what I'm saying? We killed each other. We locking each other up because we want to stay so street. You know what I'm saying? And then you talking about something 20-something years old. And we still want to be so street that we worry about that when we can take over the world with all the money coming to this community right now? Come on, man. Grow up, man. Come on. How gangster you want to be, man?
So
you know?
Also speaking on the 90s, like, if how you was saying, you know, you went to jail, you was in jail with like a lot of people that was known through the city. Like, it's how important it was to actually have like one, you know, it was a good name going to jail basically. Like, you know, it one name that carried weight on the streets.
Say that again?
Like, how important it was to have like a good name going to jail in the 90s.
Oh, it was very important. It was very, like, ain't like even like meeting Gangsta and Hot Bees with them in there, to see the respect they had for me for what they really was doing, that meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? That meant a lot. And I was, you know, able to help him start his label from in jail. You know what I'm saying? He'll take the advice, and man, it was a lot. It was real. You know, it let me see that, you know, we can get stuff done in a positive way. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. And so, like, out of all the labels that came out of New Orleans, tell us what like separated yours from the other ones.
What
Like every label that came in.
Because I'm known for doing. They say I'm known for gangster rap, the hard gangster rap. That's what I'm known for. 'Cause at that particular time, people wasn't really doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, Tim Busta, they were rapping about, you know, the ballads, Rubenstein, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Then you had the bounce rap. You know what I'm saying? I started rapping about reality of our life that we was really living. So I made it cool for to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what separated, you know, the men from the boys. You know what I'm saying? Because you had, you know, street dudes, but they was just rapping about, you know, what you call them. You know what I'm saying?
So, you know, I gotta ask this question. It's a little messy question because I heard a few people say this, like, but back in the 90s, who made the most money? The West Bank or like all the Paris?
The West Bank was on, man. Come on, man. Hands down, the West Bank was on, man. You know what I'm saying? Hands down. We was getting it. You know what I'm saying? We was getting it. There had a lot of people in the city, but we was getting that money.
Right. Cause I told people, like, man, I traveled through the whole New Orleans. Like the first the first time I saw a Lamborghini was on the West Bank. It was a Chinese dude, but he was hustling. I don't name that's my people, but he had a Lamborghini back in the day.
Yeah. He watched us get money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got money on the West Bank. And we got our money more quiet. You know what I'm saying? They had so much killing and stuff over there. And they got a lot of money downtown. Right. They got a lot of money back in the day downtown. You know what I'm saying? Goo, L Rock, and all them boys was getting money. Seven Wall, you know what I'm saying? Really, I was going over there getting work when I first got the game. You know what I'm saying? I had to go to Florida P everywhere and get down. You know what I'm saying?
And also, that's my next question. Like, you know, you've been through every hood in New Orleans.
Everywhere.
So I'm asking you this question. Like, everybody fuss about this debate on this. What hood first started rocking Dickie Fits and made it popular?
What hood started rocking Dickie Fits
and made it popular? Like, cause you know, so many hoods, like, man, they started.
I would have to say, I can't pinpoint the Dickie suits on the hood because of New Orleans. I can't say for secret who started, but it was more downtown. But a lot of people tell you I'm a Dickie suit wearing dude, like, you know what I'm saying. And I remember, you know, downtown scene, because you had people like damn, what's your boy name, had the tow trucks and all that, man. He got busted way back in the day, was selling a lot of, I can't call it that, click them and stuff, but they was from downtown. You know what I'm saying? I just see them with the Dickie suit, but it was just a fashion thing. You know what I'm saying? But I made it cool to airbrush on your Dickie suits. Because when my homeboy got killed, we'll take like lines from the ghetto boys, like I can't stand line bitches. We'll put on the back of our Dickie suit, we'll put oozes on there. You know what I'm saying? We had airbrush. P-Town Moore tell you that we had guns. We had to go to ask the villa, how we come to the villa. You know what I'm saying? The Manhattan boys. Oh yeah, we carried through that. Me and my partner T, rest in peace, man, love you. You heard me? Yeah, we did that. Yeah. But I say more downtown.
So like for the city, it combined, like, you know, who was the flyest? The West Bank or the
West Bank. You know that. You know that. You know. I tell you another thing that people don't realize too. By me traveling in the 80s, real talk, I went to Miami. My first Super Bowl had to be 88, 89. It was the 49ers, Cincinnati Bengals, right? But we used to travel. When I said New Orleans, what they said? What wall did they say?
The third one? What?
Guess some more.
The ninth wall?
Ninth wall. That's what's known. The ninth wall.
Wall.
The ninth wall. When you went somewhere, you say New Orleans, they say ninth wall.
They from the ninth wall?
And then what wall after the ninth wall?
And the seventh and third.
Seventh wall. That's what they know. You know what I'm saying? When I moved into Desire Project in like 84, 85, that's the worst project in the world. You know what I'm saying? So when you was traveling, that's the first thing the people gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Ninth wall. You know what I'm saying? We was down in Miami for the Super Bowl. We're behind the Summit Theater. Got to smoke that weed real bad, and we bought some weed. And they'll see me because I had the goals and stuff. The first thing they gonna think New York. And I'm like, man, I ain't from New York. I'm from New Orleans. Then they'll say Ninth Wall. Man, they'll give you some extra bags and all, the respect they have for the city. You know what I'm saying?
And I think, you know, just period, still is there, like, if a lot of cities just have respect for New Orleans, period.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they got a lot of respect for New Orleans. because we was all over.
Hey, but
You know
the
what I'm
only
saying?
city I've been to, and I've been in a lot of cities in the United States, the only city gave me like the grimy, gritty, like New Orleans, is Detroit. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only city I've been to. Like, this is a little
Yeah.
dangerous. Everywhere else, it didn't seem like, you know,
Yeah.
long as I mind my business, but Detroit.
Hey, I'd say another thing. Them brothers in Detroit got money too. They get money.
Oh,
They was
yeah.
getting money because one of my plugs from LA, that was another boom, boom, boom. They got money in Detroit. I never went there,
Hey, but the
but
biggest-
they got money. You know what I'm saying? Once another city got money.
Hey, but the most known person, like around the world for drug dealing, is from Detroit.
Yeah.
Big Measy, so you know.
Yeah, they got money in Detroit. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So tell us, I'm like, what's next? I'm like for your record label.
Right now, we're working on the Mobo Click 2023. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely gonna get it done. The Mobo Click reunion 2023, and after the Mobo Click, I'm passing the torch to L Mott. He gonna hold it down going forward. That's what I'm going. We're working on his album. I got him and Det, who did the Doghouse Ruthless stuff, working together right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So L Mott is on you, on the real. What you gonna do? Huh?
So I'm gonna give you your flowers again because last night what you received up, you know, you gotta show them what you got.
I appreciate everybody who played a part in putting that thing together. I love this right here. You know what I'm saying? To all you young folks, you know, ain't nothing wrong with living to be an OG. And guess what? My G don't stand for gangster. It stands for greatness. That's what you're looking at. Greatness. Get a look at that. Huh? On the real.
Okay. Also, you know, but I see that, you know, if you started off, I'm like working with, you know, I'm like West Bank artists. I'm like then after that, you ventured off, I'm like to the East Bank and everywhere else. So like I want you to know, if like name a few artists, I'm like that you had, you know, if like under your label and everything like that.
Well, I had a lot of West Bank artists under my label. Like I said, Ruthless Juvenile, Doghouse Posse. You know, I work with MC Spud, Final Approach, but I also work with East Bank artists like the great Ricky B, my little sister Cheeky Black. I can never forget Lil Goldie, man. Lil Goldie, that's my little brother right there, man. And I did a lot of things with East Bank rappers. I also helped take for them. I brought them on the road, Juve them to Atlanta, you know, doing shows and stuff like that, you know.
And like, you know, and that's also one, you know, it's a good thing because, you know, there been a lot of labels like before like to the outside world, and but labels didn't get along.
Mm-hmm.
And you speaking on, you know, basically used to help other people. So like far as Big Boy Records having like, you know, if having West Bank and moving on like that, how was your relationship? Like far as with, I'm like Chuck and them.
Me and Chuck was cool. I was cool with Big Boy, Robert Shaw. I was cool with them too. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause Chuck was getting money in the streets and stuff. And they right before they dropped Mystical, they came by the record store and got an opinion from me on what I thought about it. You know what I'm saying? I told them it was hot. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and drop it. You know what I'm saying? And I met Ricky because Kenneth Taylor KT was used to be my business partner, and he knew Kevin, who did the beat for Ricky. So at this time, like I say, it was so many people with the gay stuff. To me, I call it gay when you got men talking on stuff they don't know. So they were saying all kinds of stuff with the. I took Ruthless Juvenile money, so I told Kenny like at this time I wasn't signing no orders or nothing like that, right? So he was telling me about Ricky B, and he was like, man, just give me the permission because we had RDM studio right next door from the record store, which was J. Diamond Washington, and he was like, just give him the okay to go record it, and once they record it, let me hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because they already had it kind of like laid out and everything like that. So when they did it, I went over there and I heard it, and I like what I heard because it was like, it was good, positive stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it was good and it was New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Then Rick was cool, and I really liked Shake It For Your Hood. Rick did not like Shake It For Your Hood. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's a hit, like for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about. The Cheeky thing came about, and she don't know this because I never told this here, but was at the Lower State, and they had a concert down there, right? and that's on Canal Street. So Big Heavy from Cash Money, he was to do music with him. He was like the bodyguard. He used to work at the club too at Discovery. So Big Heavy know me and my clique before the music from down there. 'Cause we used to go to the club a lot, and we used to always get into fights and stuff like that. So he used to always be breaking me up for fights. So that's how he knew me. So at the show, Big Heavy and this around the time the twerk something started. You know what I'm saying? And people think twerk came from dancing. Twerk ain't came from dancing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to fight a nigga, like, man, what you talking about? Let's twerk something. You know what I'm saying? You know, you guys say, man, let's go twerk and go hustle, go sell something. So Big Heaven had said it on the mic, and then he get a mic to Chica from the Night Wall. So he get a mic to Chica. So when Chica was saying it, the arena went crazy. And I can see she was an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? So I asked Big Heavy, I'm like, man, who that is? He was like, oh, that's Chica Black. I said, where's she from? He said, she from across the canal. You know what I'm saying? Because you from the Night Wall, you say cross the canal. I know that's cross the canal. So I'm like, all right, bam. So the next day, rest in peace to my little brother Hitman, he was at the store. He came to the store, and it was me, him, and Kenny. So I said, look, Kenny, they got this chick from the Night Walk across the canal named Chica Black. I said, I need you to go find her for me. So he was like, and I gave him a little output of what happened that night before. So Hitman was, he was street. So I told Hit to go with him, and they went found her and bought her back, and it was up. You know what I'm saying? It was up.
Gotcha. So I got this question for you, because I know nobody gonna be able to answer it like you, because you was around this era. Because I saw Lil Wayne speak up on and everything, for as like the West Bank having gangs, like in the early '80s, like late '80s, '90s. Like, do you think it was like because
that gang?
I wanted to ask you that. Yeah,
that's gang.
Did they really have a gangs like on the West Bank?
Nah, on the East Bank, niggas had no gangs. You had cliques, and you might have posse like niggas, but that like that gang, that blue,
a lot of people say they had
that blue
gangs
red, like that blue. Now I ain't gonna lie, like in the late after we got out of school, like gangster Terrell that I went to school with, they started coming up with the gang, and then G Slim, they started doing that stuff. But it wasn't like no real gang banging. You know what I'm saying? It was just like the hood stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was cliques. They just started claiming the colors because Chuck was from LA. G Slim started going to LA. My homeboy Joe Cooley, they had plugs, he had people in LA. He bought the red, Joe Cooley started coming with that red stuff, that blood stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Joe Cooley,
but
man.
the Lil Cat started, going against other hood, and they started saying it like that, but it really wasn't no gang banging. Right. You know what I'm saying? They try to make it like it was gang. I hear when they start saying it all on the news, man. Talking about gang. It wasn't really like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Because so many people speak up on it, but like I want to ask somebody in that era who actually saw like the transition of people trying to even make a gang.
Now, see, like the difference, what they don't understand. Say like when I was coming up in New Orleans, and like today, you go anywhere you want. When you got real gangs, man, you can't really say I can go back there with gangster them. I'm talking about gangster from the West Bank, from Harvard, Terrell, and other gangsters. There was two gangsters back then. The gangster I went to school with, the other gang, he was a little younger than me too. But I can still go back there because I ain't got nothing to do with that. When you talking about real gang banging, you can't go in another hood. You got problems. You know what I'm saying? Like in LA, if you go to another hood and you not from there, them gangs, it ain't gonna happen. Down here, it was different, man. Like them dudes just was doing that. You know what I'm saying?
And so I got this question for you. So how did you find Fifth Wall Weebie?
I found Fifth Wall Weebie through Kenny. As a matter of fact, I had just came home, and Fifth Wall Weebie, he wasn't doing too good at the time, but Kenny was telling me about, the little guy was rapping. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always trying to put people on at the same time you got talent. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about. You know what I'm saying? That's just sometimes another good one that you need to put on there too. People always ask me about my album covers. like, you know, on my album cover. Like, I was also like the first one that came out with wax, CDs, and cassettes at one time. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the lower level, Ruthless Juvenile Doghouse Posse. You know what I'm saying? But after I got my store, you know, people like local artists that can draw. They might come with a drawing of an album cover, this, that, and another. And I'm like, man, I give them a chance. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just do it. You know what I'm saying? But like Fifth Wall Weebie, like I said, he came to a plug that Kenneth knew. You know what I'm saying? And we did the album and, you know, opened the door for him. And he went on to do great things, you know what I'm saying? And rest in peace to Fifth Wall Weebie, you know? Went to the Grammys and everything. Off a door that was open for Mobo Joe.
So, you know, hey, when I see currency, you know, bringing back, you know, all the old schools, making it a thing, bringing it on Canal every Saturday night. Like, but, you know, yeah, but the real old school show used to really be on the West Bank. So I want you to, you know, give a little history on that.
Well, on the West Bank, man, we had the cleanest cars back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And like me, I was more to the old schools. You know what I'm saying? But me and my clique that was from the street, when I started doing music, we used all the cars for the album covers and stuff like that, because people, you know, knew them and stuff like that. But you know, man, when you come down to the old cars, like we was the first one putting snakeskin interior, cowhide interior in cars and stuff like that. We was like the first one really doing that. You know what I'm saying? That was like growing up with that passion I had for old cars, and you know, just the love to see the hood, dudes in the hood with the old whips. So that was just a thing that we did. You know what I'm saying? But we was the first one really putting them old cars in the video fixed up and all that and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I also picked a lot of that up going to Houston. Like them boys in Houston, everybody freak a whip out. They freak it out. And that's what I used to love. That's why I started seeing that, you know.
And also, last but not least, tell everybody where can they find you on social media and just everywhere.
On Instagram, Mobo Camp, MOBO CAMP 90, because I represent the 90s. On YouTube is Mobo Camp Records. You can also find me on the Mobo Joe Records. On Facebook is Mobo Joe. You also can find me. Also, I got Instagram and I got a Facebook on the Lacamo. That's the new Mobo Joe. Like Mobo Joe and Lacamo is the same person, but the Lacamo is where I'm at now as a grown man, not a young boy. So just Google Mobo Camp 90 or Mobo Camp and you got me on the real.